Create Art Podcast. Commentary. Being Casual. Hello, friend. This is Timothy Keem O'Brien, your head instigator for Create Art Podcast, where I use my over 30 years of experience in the arts and education world to help you tame your inner critic and create more than you consume. So we just got done with National Poetry Writing Month, and out of the 30 days in April, I got 29 poems knocked out, which was a lot of fun, let me tell you. And I got a lot of great content out of that. So later on this year, I'll be compiling the last 5 years of what I've done for National Poetry Writing Month on this podcast and making it into a book. And of course, you out there will get a chance to get a copy of that book first. So be on the lookout for that. But today we're talking about being casual. And this is all part of our Making Fun a Habit series. And what that is I got to meet Mike Brennan from the book Make Fun of Habits and his podcast Creative Chats when I interviewed him on my other podcast, Find a Podcast About. Now, what Make Fun a Habit is a 30-day workbook for you to bring fun back into your life. And I really enjoy this book. And the links for it will be in the show notes for both the book and the Creative Chats podcast. But I really like this book because it breaks it down into 30 days. Each chapter is a new topic and it gives you ideas of how to add that fun back into your life. And I know when I'm having fun, I'm a lot more creative. So that's why I wanted to bring this book to you. Now, about every 2 weeks, I'm going to be doing a chapter out of the book. Took time off in April to go ahead and do National Poetry Writing Month, and I'll take another month off in November to do National Novel Writing Month, which is, two big challenges that I do every year. But my challenge to you is to go ahead and pick up this book. I don't get any money from it whatsoever. I don't have any affiliate links with it or anything like that. But I challenge you to go get that book and to go through it. It's a lot of fun just to even look at the pictures, and I have a copy of it right here for you. So the chapter we're talking about is called You're Never Too Fancy to Have Fun. And what Mike does is he'll tell a little story about whatever the topic is, and then he'll give you some questions to ponder, give you an action item, and tips on how you can add that type of fun into your daily life. And when we're having fun, we feel a lot more positive. We can really get inspired by everything that is around us, which I think is the key to having a great creative practice. But let's get started on this chapter of You're Never Too Fancy to Have Fun. Now, according to Mike, art gets too formal and we forget the joy of creating things. And when we loosen up and have fun with our friends and coworkers, we're going to shake things up and release some of that pent up energy and create something wonderful. At worst, you're going to have a lot of stories to tell. And at best, you've had a great time and enjoyed everybody's company. And if you take it one step further, we want our audience to have fun too. Just like when you're listening to this podcast, I want you to have fun while you listen to it. And that, delves into a little bit of a connection thing that I have with you and you have with me. So don't take yourself too seriously. Now, yes, I have on a collared shirt today and, I'm shaving and just shaved my head. For those of you watching me on YouTube, you'll see that. For those of you not watching YouTube, that's okay. That's all right. That's not a problem. But really bringing back that fun, bringing back the fun into creativity, into your life. First, bring it into your life and then let it spread into your creativity. Then your audience is going to have fun with it too. And that's why when we're looking at the best movies of all time, a lot of them make us laugh. They entertain us. They're a lot of fun to watch. Even thriller movies, it's fun to be on the edge of our seats, to get those jump scares at us. Sci-fi movies, Another fun one. I know that the movie Alien is coming back out for its 45th anniversary. I can't believe it's the 45th anniversary of Alien coming out, but that was a lot of. It was a scary movie. It was a gory movie, but it was a lot of fun. And when we look back at it now, it's even more fun for me, anyways. Maybe I have a sixth sense of humor. I don't know. But here's some things to ponder that Mike gives us to ponder. And the first question, or the first thing to ponder, is what were some of the activities you enjoyed as a child? Now, I'm going to be focusing this mainly on art because I've been doing art since I could pretty much, crawl around and grab something and make a mess. But some of the things I really enjoyed was just doodling around. I used to make these little fantasy maps. I don't know why, but of these different areas, of these different regions, and I was really enthralled with that. Or action figures was really huge with me. He-Man, Transformers, GoBots. Um, didn't really get into my pony, or that kind of stuff. I did have a Raggedy Ann doll, uh, Raggedy Ann and Andy. So I had a Raggedy Andy doll. But I really enjoyed playing with those things. Model airplanes. I really enjoyed World War II model airplanes, and I'd fly them around the neighborhood, and we'd shoot bottle rockets off at them, and firecrackers and all that kind of stuff. And when I grew up in Rockford, Illinois, which all that stuff was illegal, but we did it anyways, and just playing out in the woods and like that, and just the being able to make those was something that was great. Even though it's model airplane, you get a set of instructions and you do it according to that. That was fine. That was creative to me. And then what I did with it was even more creative because I thought up all these great battles and all that. We had a pool in our backyard, and we'd go swimming in it all the time. And we'd create these stories of these sea creatures, and the different colors determined if they were good or bad and what powers that they had. So that's what I did. Also, video games. I'm a child of the 80s, and the Atari 2600 was my constant companion. And I have a PlayStation 4 right behind me here with a big screen TV. So I still do the uh, the uh, the video games on the PlayStation and the PlayStation. But what I do is I do that just to kind of relieve stress and just to have a good time and kind of go back into those days. So that was some of the activities I did as a child. What were some of yours? Now, the next idea is, how can you incorporate some of these things in your life today? And I'm already doing it by, playing PlayStation 4 as a kind of a stress relief. But lately, I've been doing a lot of paint by numbers things. And some people are going to go, well, that's not really art. Yeah, it is. It is because, yeah, you can paint by numbers and follow the directions pretty well, but then you have the choice to use the colors that they give you or not. And you can make it into something completely different that looks completely different from what you have prescribed it to be, what you want it to be. So right now I'm working on a Mother's Day gift slash anniversary gift for my wife, and it's a picture of the kids of the family. I've done one of her and I've done others, one of each of the kids to hang up on the walls. And, it brings a lot of joy to their lives and brings a lot of joy to my wife's life. So I'm doing that. I'm taking the model airplanes where we had the instructions and did it and had a lot of fun with it, to doing some paint by numbers. And I think it's a valid thing to do. And I would challenge you, try a paint by numbers kind of thing. And then the colors that they give you in the order that they give it to you, try to do it differently. You don't have to necessarily follow the rules, and you might have something turn out even better than the original. So give that a shot for yourself. Next idea is, what stops you from being silly, and what's an easy next step to get you moving in the right direction? I have kids. They're going to be 10 very soon. I have twin 10-year-old, well, soon to be 10-year-olds at the time of this recording. So I'm always silly. I always try to be silly with them, and try to keep everything as lighthearted as I can with all the issues that are going on in the world that we're seeing today, I really like to have them not think about it too much, especially with the pandemic that we just went through, telling jokes, teasing a little bit, making funny voices, making funny noises. That's how I keep silly. And then, on Friday nights, I'll go away and do a poetry reading and read really silly things. Like there's one that I have, it's called Deep Dish Dreaming, where I am pretending to be a female deep dish pizza, talking about her man and how, he likes it nice and big and juicy. It's hilarious. It's funny. And nobody takes it too seriously. And it's just, I enjoy hearing the laughter in the audience is what I enjoy most. It's better than hearing crickets, that's for sure. So, again, I'm going to challenge you: be silly. We don't have to be all stuffed shirt and everything like that. Even in my day job, and I do it mostly virtual. I usually have a joke or I talk about podcasts, and they know me as the podcast guy, or they know me as the jazz guy or the DJ, whatnot. But I try to have fun, and I'm a veteran of the United States Air Force, fly, fight, win, folks, and I just tease my coworkers who are from the Army or the Marines or from the Navy. I let them know, hey, it's a beautiful Air Force day here in my house, and da 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 da, and we have a good time with that, and we have that instant connection, and we can have fun with each other. So I bring that silliness right to work, and people seem to enjoy it. It makes the work day that much easier. And then in the evenings or on the weekends when I'm doing my art, I try to bring that involved with it as well. And again, you've heard me say this before. I paint like a 4-year-old on crack. So I try to make it silly. I try to make it, a lot of crazy stuff going on. As you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see some of my artwork hanging around there. It's out there, and that's the way I like it to be. The last idea to ponder is who do you know that seems to have fun naturally? Plan a get together and talk with them about how they engage with fun in play. So I have a good friend in Chicago that he always is got a very bright personality, very fun to talk with, and I try to talk to him every other week, if not more than that, and it just puts a smile on my face. We have inside jokes that we say. If people were to hear the conversation that he and I have, they'd be like, "Wait, what? You can't say that." It's a stress reliever. It is a lot of fun, and I try to um, be more like that, yeah, with everybody, and try to have inside jokes with everybody, and just enjoy life. And so if I want to be, more like somebody that, is somebody that I admire, I try to emulate. It's my good friend Derwin out in Chicago, and he's just a wonderful guy. I've known him since, oh gosh, it's been May of 2004. So yeah, 20 years. It's amazing. I got to give him a call and let him know that. All right, let's move to action items here. Host a party for your friends or coworkers. Have everyone dress up as a fancy or as formal as they can. Provide fancy foods, fine dining, set an elegant atmosphere, and then serve up a pattern interpreter. Hand out silly hats or pirate eye patch for people to wear. For evening activities, bring out Legos, play Twister, have a water gun fight, give everyone a can of silly string. Just be creative and let the fun out to play together. I know before the pandemic hit, we had a murder mystery dinner party that we did with a bunch of our friends, and everyone dressed up, and we had a great time with that, with doing it this murder mystery game. And I know these days it can be tough, being adults and working full time and having families and whatnot. It can be tough to do that, but if you can find the time to make that happen, make that special time happen with the people that are important to you in your life. Do it. It's going to pay off in dividends. You're going to be talking about it for years. We have pictures of it, yeah, that we did where everyone is just looking hilarious, and everyone's got a smile on their face, and everyone had a really great time. So Do that for yourself. I've done it, and I'm still talking about it to this day, and it's been like 6 years ago. So definitely, if you have the opportunity, host a party like that, a murder mystery party. It's just a board game, and just have a great time with it. You can host a board game at your house, and have fun snacks and all that kind of stuff. Play some funky music, and everyone gets dressed up, very formal or very informal or in their favorite Halloween costume. There you go, and see what can happen with that. All right. So the last part of this is the tips that Mike gives us. First tip is to play games. Again, board game, murder mystery, what have you. Find a way to play games with folks. Even going, if your friends are across the country like mine are, going online and playing video games with them. By all means, go be silly and do that. Do arts and crafts. A paint by numbers thing. One of my kids wanted to join me with the paint by numbers thing. They don't have quite a steady hand, and they don't like to color within the lines. And not that I'm a huge line colorer, but it was fun to sit down with them and just have some arts and crafts time. And if you've got kids, definitely do some arts and crafts with them. I know Michael's, who is not a sponsor of the show yet, but Michael's in our area down here in Fredericksburg, Virginia, they do over the summer, they do arts and crafts classes where you buy the kit, and then they take you into a back room, and they have one of the staff members go, they lead you through the craft. And I'm half tempted this summer to buy a kit for myself and do the crafts with the kids. Why not? It's a lot of fun, and it's fun to see what you can create that way. Another tip he has is go on an adventure. Now I know for us, the time that you see this, our adventure is going to be going to a baseball game on Sunday. Our local minor league team. We're going to go on an adventure and check that out. And we haven't done that for a while, for a couple of years. So it's going to be great to just go out to the ballpark and enjoy each other's company and have a ball game going on behind us, and just have a good time eating nachos and hot dogs and all that stuff, and just having fun and being silly with the kids. Learn new things. So again, that's going back to your local store, your local art stores there. They'll have a lot of crafts, or you'll have a yarn store. We have a place called Untangled Pearls, and they do different art classes there, different knitting and crocheting classes. Highly recommend those. Or sometimes your art galleries will have a painting class. Give it a shot for yourself. You know, nobody has to see it, and usually most art teachers are going to support you and be very supportive because, well, one, they want you to come back and spend more money. Nothing wrong with that. They've got to live too. But two, they want you to come back because it's a lot of fun to do a painting or do some pottery or what have you. I know with my kids, they really love when they have specials different days out of the week, and when it's arts, they have music and they have art, and they have PE, and they have library. They dig the PE. That's fun because they can run around and be crazy, but they really like the arts, and then they love to bring them home, and we make a big deal out of it. It's back in my day, when you brought stuff home, paintings and all that, it went on the fridge. So we continue that tradition of, hey, let's put this on the fridge so that way everybody can see it, and then we put something new up, we take something old down, and then we're going to be keeping all of their art projects for when they turn 18, if they want to keep them or not. So it's up to them. If they don't want to keep them, we'll keep them until they're ready for them. Last tip is to be silly. Just be silly. A lot of times we take everything just a bit too seriously, and we just need to be silly every once in a while. I enjoy being silly. It's a lot. It's less muscles to smile than it is to frown. I learned that a long time ago. So if we're just silly and we go with that mindset of, I'm just going to have fun And whatever happens, happens. And, at worst, it'll give me a story to tell, my grandkids. There you go. You've won. So just be silly out there. Okay. All right. Well, here comes the time in the show where I want to thank you for taking a listen here to create our podcast. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to go ahead and do that. We're getting back to our regular episodes. So, yeah, we took April off for National Poetry Writing Month, and we'll take November off for National Novel Writing Month. So, I want to thank you for for those of you that listened to all last month's episodes. Appreciate you and your support in that. I think we picked up a few more people listening, so it's going to get crowded here in the listening room, but that's okay. I don't mind crowds. That's just fine. But definitely, if you have a topic or an idea or some critique for the show that you'd like me to know about, or let's say you want to be interviewed on the show or talk about what you're doing in your area, I'd love to have you on the show. You can email me, timothy@createartpodcast.com. Right there, I answer all the emails. That's me doing it. Nobody else. I don't have any other helpers around here. No, no little L's running around answering my emails. It's all me. So definitely check that out and definitely shoot me an email and let me know what you think. What do you want more of? What do you want less of? I want this to be a 5-star podcast that you feel comfortable sharing with your friends in case they may be struggling with their art. I want to give them the ideas. I want to give you the ideas that I have running through my head. So that way we can all create some art together. Okay. So that's my ask for you. Find that little share button on your podcast app of choice, or if you're watching it on YouTube, there's a share button there. Go ahead and hit that share button and give it to a friend that may need something like this in their life. Speaking about sharing podcasts, I run another podcast called Find a Podcast About. You can find it at findapodcastabout.xyz. And what I do there is I go out and listen to other podcasts and bring them back to you, the ones that I really like, and I review them for you. I'll ask the host if they want to be on the show, and usually they do. And then we talk about, what their inspiration for the podcast was, some behind the scenes stuff, where they're going to be going with it, all the stuff that you want to know about a new podcast that's going to work for you. Basically, what I'm trying to do is help you find your next binge worthy podcast and outsmart that algorithm because we all know podcast search engines are not great. So let me help you find your next binge worthy podcast. That's all I have for you today. Again, thank you so much for joining me here on Create Art Podcast. Now go out there, tame that inner critic, create more than you consume. Go be silly and go out there and create some art for somebody you love, yourself. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.